let's look at a few of the hurdlers. Epatante, we saw her again this morning. She looks in good nick. Pleased with her?
She's in very good form. Yeah, great. We're going down the old tried and tested route, which I think we've done every year for the last 4 or 5 with, well, they've all been JP's sort of champion hurdle contenders by starting with the Fighting Fifth, which Bouvedere won a couple of times, Binocular won a couple of times, Epatante has. So I see no reason to branch away from the tried and tested route. It's a grade 1 and it's a good prize. Bit of a long way to go, but we'll live with that.
Well, I suppose you won't have to worry about honeysuckle, will you?
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of, you wouldn't know what else is likely to turn up. But, yeah, if she's, if we get her back to the form she was in last year, I mean, she was electric in it. And then sort of things slightly went wrong. But, again, we've corrected quite a few bits and pieces of anatomy.
Do you find with the mares makes your job a little harder trying to get them at that peak fitness and try and maintain it for so long as well, try and keep them happy?
Well, again, she did it the year before. She kept it all the way through from Christmas to Cheltenham and that. No, not necessarily. They are different. Treat them a bit differently.
So what were your thoughts on her run at Punchestown?
I think it was a bit the same as Cheltenham, really. It was, she wasn't good enough on the day. Again, to be fair, she's had back surgery as well, which has always been an issue with her. It has. And you'd think for us that actually jumps as well as she does. And I think both at Cheltenham and Punchestown, she wasn't jumping with her, and in the Christmas hurdle, to be honest. She wasn't jumping like she can do. I mean, at Newcastle, you won't see anything faster, quicker, or sharper over a hurdle. And actually, after that, she didn't hurdle with her old proficiency. And, that's what we hope we've sort of sorted out. If she's jumping really well, then she's really well.
Let's focus on a few of last season's novice hurdlers. There are obviously lots of them to go through, so we'll just spin through and you can give us your thoughts on where they might go. Dusart, obviously, we know a lot about him because of his breeding. Very impressive on his debut, and also ran well when also up to graded company at Aintree last back end.
Yeah, he was very unlucky last year. I mean, he won his first start very impressively, and I think it was a good race. But at the time, I think everybody thought it was a very good race. And then he had a horrific accident where he staked himself. I mean, he was lucky to survive. And to get him back last season was even more miraculous. But we were getting back, and I just wasn't sure. It was probably a mistake. I probably should have gone 2.5 at Aintree. I don't say he'd have won, but he'd have found it easier. But I'm sure he learnt a lot at Aintree. He ran a very good race. Over a trip that was definitely too short for him. I would think we're looking at 2.5. At the moment, we're inclined to stay over hurdles and just see what he's, where he can go. He's only had 2 runs in his life, so it'd be quite tough to be going straight over fences. So we're minded at the moment to stay hurdling.
Does he still does he show you on the gallops that he is a horse with an immense amount of talent? Do you feel that he can go right to the very top?
Well, he can. I mean, we're not really just doing that much at the moment that you're asking him those sort of questions, but he looks fantastic. He jumps really, really well. I mean, we've only schooled him over hurdles, but he's something else. I mean, he could go chasing tomorrow. Whether that's the right thing to do at the moment, I'm not quite sure.
What was the reason in going straight over hurdles? Because obviously you could have gone around the bumper.
He could, but I mean, he was 5 then, so there didn't seem a lot of point. And he jumped so well, we thought we might as well get on with it. I mean, in hindsight, I wish he'd had 1 bumper and then gone wrong, because then he'd have been a novice hurdler for this year. But which would have, he really would have shaken up the...
Ballymore betting.
Yeah.
How far forward is he? How far off?
Oh, he is quite forward, yeah. No, he's done quite a bit. We just need the rain. I mean, you can't... These big boys like that, we're just having to wait, unfortunately.
Shut your weather. Shut your weather. Fable.
She's a fascinating mare. She came over sort of in the spring or early spring, really, and we got it going. And I have to say, I thought it was the slowest horse I'd ever seen. And we've seen a few, I can tell you. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And I did warn quite a lot of people. It does have a huge number of owners. And actually, I've got a lot of mates who've got legs in Fable. I don't know why, but lots. And how's Fable? I said, listen, I've got to be honest with you. I think it's useless. I could watch the start of the gallop, come back and have breakfast and go and watch the end. And while all the others are washing off here. Anyway, we gave her a run first time and she was second. And I was very, very pleased. And she then won twice really nicely. It's just a question. Nico and I disagree at the moment. She's not badly handicapped, actually. You know, I'd be interested to see how much further she could go over hurdles and see if she isn't at least a listed mare, you know. To get her some black type would be priority. But she could jump fences tomorrow. So we're just sort of, we're tiptoeing to see which way we go, really. I'd quite like to give her one run over hurdles anyway, just to see where she belongs in that category, because she might just be quite high. If not, we'll go chasing.
And obviously nice to see Buzz win the Cesarewitch on Saturday, won it with Caracciolo and Landing Light, and proving what a versatile horse he is, I suppose.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you know, it's a bit of fun. It was the Stafford family's idea in the middle of the summer while the horse was in the field. I thought, well, this is crazy. First of all, he wants soft ground. You probably won't get soft ground at Newmarket. And how am I going to get him ready in August when, again, the ground isn't going to... I need a prep race and all sorts of things. And I thought it was a pretty cracker's idea, but I've luckily been wrong so many times that we ignore those things. It went well. I mean, he came in on the 12th of July, so he was under 12 weeks from the field to Newmarket, which is not bad going without a run. He had one racecourse gallop. Luckily, it was one weekend it rained. And we took him to Newbury on the Sunday morning just for a gallop. Reggie rides him every day, rode him in the gallop. I didn't want other horses. He just went round on his own. He didn't want jockeys on him. He just wanted to go and have a nice time. I think that helped him a lot. And we just had a very clean run, having to be pretty hard on him. He was having to gallop twice a week to get there. And I suppose we did get there. He was fit, which is a fair thing for a horse like that to do first time out. But the interesting bit really was the improvement throughout last season was dramatic. And the important bit was he proved his stamina at Aintree. So I think that's opened up, and so he did at Newmarket too.
So what have you got earmarked for him over hurdles this year?
Nothing. I mean, you'd probably say you'd start at 2.5, although he's had a run of 2.25 under his belt. So do you even try him straight over 3? We'll see. We'll see what comes up when comes up.
So would you see him as a staying hurdle candidate? I know it's a long way down the line, but you sort of
last year. But I mean, he improved so much throughout the year. You wondered whether he might be. We'll just have to see. He's an entertaining horse to train. He'd put his ears back and bite you just for fun. I mean, the morning after the Cesarewitch, I went into his box to feel his legs. He chased me straight out. But that's Buzz in good form. Reggie rides him and does him. I mean, you know, those sort of relationships you get between a person and a horse makes a lot of difference. And, you know, he made a big difference to this horse's life. He's become more amenable. He's had issues. He's had a lot of issues. That's why you would never run him on fast ground. But, you know, he could be anything, particularly when the ground is soft.
Lots of people watching today would love an update on Bouverdare.
He ran a fantastic race at Aintree. and I thought he was very unlucky not to win, really. In that he was travelling beautifully, nicely covered up. The horse in front of him at the last on the far side fell and suddenly opened up the door and he couldn't resist it. And off he went. And that, unfortunately, was far too soon. And then there was a loose horse that went all over the place. It carried him out. It took. Then Buzz was the other side of the track, went and knocked him over, then came and gave Bouvedere another thump. He ran a great race. And we were looking forward to going 3 miles at Punchestown. And he picked up a nasty injury here. So he's not back here yet. I did see him passing by the other day. He stopped off for a night at AP's. He's been over here having some treatment. So I saw him then. The leg feels good. And hopefully he'll be back. I mean, it's going to be a long shot because, age creeps up on us all. It's rather like Altio has retired and he's the same age. So, but we're persevering with Bouvedere at the moment. So it'd be lovely to get him back.
Also, it'd be lovely to see Penton Hills back again. I haven't seen him since the 2020 Unibet Champion
No,
Hurdle.
that's right. He, unfortunately, he had a tendon injury last year. He came back into training and we scanned the tendon. Brilliant. But actually, unfortunately, he was lame. And he has a sort of an injury that's holding him up now for a couple of months. But hopefully he'll be back around. I would have gone novice chasing with him this season because he's a most spectacular jumper. But I think he will be back hopefully for this season, the middle of, before Christmas. But it won't give him a full season of offences. So I think if we concentrate just on hurdles for now, and then maybe let him go novice chasing even in the spring and take him on from there. It'd be great to see him back. He's very good.